Hello, my hearties. A very good evening to you. It's just me, Scottie McCLUE. Lots to talk about, of course, and so little time to do it in. Always the way I say to you. But there we are, no problem at all. Now then, I'm just setting that up. That's fine. Lovely, lovely. And welcome to our Saturday evening. 1 hour of superb, scintillating information, education, and entertainment for not just one nation but for all the nations of the world. I tell you, absolutely. So a warm welcome, and we've got a lot to get through tonight, and so little time to do it in. So I hope you'll join us as quickly as possible so that we can get started and tell you what is what. First thing is, can you see me and can you hear me? I think that's very important. I tell you, and dinky-doo to every single one of you. If you've just joined us and you wonder what on earth's going on, it's Scottie McClue, hashtag FLOTI, the first lord of the internet, the world's top broadcaster and the world's most humble man. Freddie's just joined us. Dinky-Doo Freddie. Wonderful stuff. What a big bra coupon, Murray O'Donnell. I wish it was the kind of coupon you could cash in and get a few quid. I tell you. Good evening, Scottie. Good evening, Susan. How lovely to see you. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all well. Liebchen. How lovely to have you with us. Liebchen. Wonderful. My love in German, is that right? Hello, Scottie. Thoughts on the British Army? Well, the British Army still are probably the most outstanding soldiers in the world, particularly our infantry regiments. Tremendous stuff. But there needs to be a good number of them. But now that Mr. Trump is in office, we hopefully will not be having to go to war. But that doesn't mean that we shan't keep a good, strong army. I tell you, so there you are. So everybody's a big fan of the British Army because they've done nothing but pull their resources to keep the peace over the years and make sure that when they've had to go into combat, that as few soldiers as possible are put at risk, and as few soldiers, as few people as possible are put at risk. So that's the stuff. Bring back national service, says Murray. Absolutely, sir. There we are. Absolutely, yes. I might take over myself. That would be the idea, wouldn't it? Hello, Scottie. What's your thoughts on President? What's that? Don't know what that is. Hello, everyone. I'm one of the Scottish ghosts from years gone by when he was in Scott FM. Liebchen, you're very, very welcome. Dinky-Doo. I tell you, did you serve, says Owen. Well, we don't obviously give away too much, Owen, you know. Scott FM throwback, says Hulk Hogan. Yes, indeed. Tam says, hello, mate. Trump all the way, says Dave. Dave, only an idiot would not be pro-Trump now. What do you think of Springburn? We love it. I'll give you a fact about Springburn. In the days when you used to dial in using the alphabet, SPR was the code for Springburn. So there you are. And Dinky-Doo, hello, Lewis. Very good. Now, a very good evening to you. There's Harrison on. Lovely to have you with us, Harrison. And welcome, 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 I say. Have you ever been to Motherwell, Scotland? I know Motherwell very, very well indeed. A very fine part of the world. I've even worked in Motherwell. Have you seen Still Game? I was apparently the original inspiration for Still Game. What's your opinion on Northern Ireland, Scottie? A very fine country stuffed with some very fine people. I tell you, Lewis, thank you very much. Yes, indeed. Have you ever been to Dundee, Dex? I know Dundee like the back of my hand. I've broadcast from Dundee. You were in Chewing the Fat. No, I wasn't in Chewing the Fat, but I do remember seeing it. A very good show. Great trades within the forces, giving valuable skills to young people. Murray, you talk nothing but sense. You speak verity, sir, and I salute you. A salute for Murray O'Donnell. Yes, indeed, longest way up, shortest way down. So there you are. I did your curbs. You're very, very kind. Let me thank you. Just a minute till I get a name. User 415. Thank you for doing my curbs. They're very good. So there you are. What a wonderful job you did. What do you think about them talking about selling us back to the south of Ireland? Well, I spoke to somebody who's very high up in Ireland, and they said to me that there was every chance that it was only a matter of time. So there we are. Uh, Thoughts on the LGBTQ group? Well, I think it needs to become the LGBTQS group, and that includes straight people. Then you've got proper inclusion, and everybody's practicing what they preach, and we're all in the one group. So you've got the LGBTQS. LGBTQS, yes, straight people. So what about that? We had the straight people. So you're LGBTQS. Yes, that's what you want. How do you like air, Scotty? Have you ever been personally? I think it's a dump leaption. I have been in love with air for years and years and years. Old air, which ne'er a tune surpasses for honest men and bonny lasses. That's it. I'll dare wham ne'er a tune surpasses for honest men and bonny lasses. So air was very popular with Burns, and of course he lived very close to it. And you've got the Burns Monument. But like all Scottish towns, it's been allowed to go downhill. That in itself is a crime. I think what we need, we need to have a Donald Trump set up in Scotland, and we need to make sure we find a new purpose for all our towns and all our villages to make Scotland the wealthiest place, the place where it deserves to be in terms of wealth. And I think we should look at that. LGBTQS, the S stands for Scottie McClue. Hulk, you're very kind. There's Neil O'Gormley. Good evening, sir. Good evening, Neil. Hello, says Captain Gomez. Captain Gomez, how lovely to have you with us in Dinky-Doo. Scotty, I was too cowardly to ask out this Italian girl yesterday for Valentine. What should I do? I think you should say, hello to her and have a wee bit of a chat with her. Don't ever. I had a friend who was an Eskimo, and he was going to ask this lady to marry him, but he got cold feet. And, that was a bit of a shame. Follow the Scandinavian model, says John Doe. Well, Scotland's falling down with oil, gas, wind, wave, peat, coal, wood. Why have we got power poverty? Ridiculous nonsense. I've never had a Valentine, Scotty. What's your advice? What's your advice? Your advice to woo the fairer sex. Well, I would just be yourself and say, excuse me asking you, but would you by any chance be interested in going out with me? So there you are. So that's something you could do for a starter for Valentine's. Murray says, we had our Burns supper a couple of Saturdays ago. I chaired it and was delighted that my young brother recited Tam O'Shanter with great skill and character. The highlight of the night. Murray, I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud of your young brother. And I think you should most definitely be reciting. I think I would be reciting Tam O'Shanter live on here at exactly the same time. Would that be right? Did you say the Saturdays? Yes. Yes. So exactly the same time. And you can see it on YouTube. John Doe says, a very good model it is as well. They're pretty happy. I'm quite fond of the drink, Ben. It has been a great ally to me in dire times, such as when me and the boys were going after Saddam. Hulk Hogan. You went after Saddam, I tell you. Did you watch the Super Bowl? No, I didn't. Have you been to Inverkip? I know Inverkip very, very well indeed. I used to, as a Boy Scout, camp at Inverkip at a little camp called Everton up the hill. So you go up past the old Lang House and keep walking, and you came to Everton. And it was great. Scouts had been doing it, I think, since the 1930s. And they'd been building this lovely camp. It had its own swimming pool. I tell you, Scotty, are you a man who's pro-polis? Hulk, all of us are pro-polis to a greater or lesser extent. Because even your Neds shout on the polis when the going gets tough. Murray says he learned it after a promise to my dad as he was in palliative care. He used to perform it every year. It took my brother about 3 years to master. Murray, no wonder. It's a lang road to furrow. Do you like that? Did you see the Burns correction there? Well done to your brother. I would love to have seen you and Chick Murray together. I remember Chick. He used to come into the BBC. Very, very funny man. And a friend of mine was telling me that he was acting with them in Take the High Road. And Chick turned to him when they were actually filming and he said, "What happens next?" He said, "Well, you make out he's eating your sandwiches." And Chick goes, "And has he?" I tell you. Now, Ben Soldier Boy, Graham, we should grab a drink together. There's the Glasgow Creeper. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. That was from Graham about Chick Murray there. Wonderful. Chick Murray, the master. So who have we got here? Busy, busy night tonight, guys. Scotty, my man, how are you? Excellent Scottish in the USA. We love it. Get following, everybody. Get subscribing. Every single person should follow Scottie McClue, I tell you. Joseph says, vote reform. Well, we're not a political program, Joseph, and I'm not a political animal, but I certainly see things that reform are doing that would be a massive improvement on what we've got. You know me, Ben, always lurking around the barras looking for some fun. The Glasgow Creeper. There we are. Remember listening to you about 30 years ago after 10 o'clock. Legend, says Gingero. Gingero, would you vote reform, Scotty? Well, I'm not political, Dave, as you very well know. So there you go. But we do need to improve on what we've got, which I think is even worse than what we had. They're discussing it in Parliament at the moment, selling us back because the English don't recognise us. Well, no, there was a discussion about would England sell Scotland to America? And I thought it's not England's, it's not Westminster's to sell. Scotland belongs to Scotland. And I was thinking if we earn 75 billion a year, you see, why have we got rundown towns and villages when we earn 75 billion pounds a year? Because we give it all to Westminster and they give us 28 billion back, called the Barnett formula. So we need to scrap that nonsense. Chick's wife fell whilst on holiday in Blackpool and got her nose stuck in the tram rails. He couldn't get her out, so he had to push her to the depot. Well, of course, that's part of a long routine, that one. There we go. They've completely changed the Gorbals since I was wee. They have indeed. They've actually changed it several times since you were wee. But when were you wee? Used to have the Razor gangs going about. Yes, thank goodness we don't have them going about. The Billy Boys, I tell you. They got sorted out by Percy Sillito. Still no word from wee David. Neil, not a peep from David. I hope he's all right, or I hope he's not just off in a wee cream puff. There we go, I tell you. The real deal, that's not a castle, that's a mansion. Follow us as soon as you can, DINKY-DOO. Thank you for following, Lily Poo. How marvellous is that? How did they get rid of the Razor Gang, Scotty? They brought in Percy Sillito. Sir Percy Sillito. Big, handsome man. Percy Joseph Sillito. And Percy had been the chief constable of Sheffield. And Glasgow said, look, we really need to get the right person here. We've got trouble with gangs. So Percy came up and he formed the big men. And the big men were your big Highland police, great big strapping guys from Lewis and Harris and Skye, the Ossox and the Skeenox and Inverness and Kinusey and all the shinty players and what have you that weren't bothered about a good scrap. So he got them together and he said, you will not be charged with GBH, right? So do your stuff. So these vans would pull up and the big boys would get out and just give them a right good battering. And the gangs thought, I don't think we like this really, you know, we don't mind going, come on, get a razor, you know, all that stuff, but we don't really like a good battering from the police, a good leathering up a close. So they decided to chuck it and chuck the violence and persecute the gangland. And years and years later, Percy, I think, had a wee shop with his wife, just doing papers and probably fags and all that stuff, sweeties. And in came a couple of guys and they said, we want a wee word with you. And he said, we'd like to offer you a job. He said, oh, no, I'm quite happy with my sweeties and my papers and all that stuff. And they said, well, this job is running the security service. Yeah, MI5, I think it was. MI5 or MI6. Anyway, well, there's only MI5, isn't there? We don't admit to the other security service. And that was Percy. And he did very, very well in that as well. He slightly got the blame for the Burgess McLean thing when they defected to Russia. Burgess and McLean and the other wee guy that was already out there. Oh, come on, who else? You had Burgess and McLean, and there was 4 of them in total because Anthony Blunt ended up as the 4th man. So there you go. Somebody will come up with it for me. So there you are. New York is a smelly dump, says Liebchen. I thought New York was stunningly beautiful. I was going to come and do the radio for you. I tell you. Oh, Philby. Thank you. Yes, indeed, Jimmy. Philby. So you had Philby, Burgess, McLean, and Blunt. And, you know, they were dirty, rotten traitors. But they were working right at the height of the establishment. I mean, Blunt was the surveyor of the King's pictures, latterly the Queen's pictures. He was a great arts man. And Philby, of course, he was very high up in the intelligence services. Burgess was in charge of BBC talks. Imagine somebody dodgy at the BBC. Unthinkable. And who else did you have? And Donald MacLean was, well, he was the son of Sir Donald MacLean, and he was a diplomat. So there you are. And he was, I think, working in the Washington office of the diplomatic service? Crazy stuff, I tell you. So that's the stuff. The New Yorker says, what's it? I'm not in a gang, if you're wondering, just because it doesn't mean I'm a thug. What are you talking about? I tell you. Right, Glasgow Creeper, stop that. And otherwise, you'll all get a lifetime ban. And you'll not be back on. And you won't like that. They are getting a bit of cheek here, guys. Crazy stuff. We've got the gangs fighting New York and Glasgow. Wait, don't ban, right? Gimmers, Glasgow Creeper, right? And Liebchen, everybody behaving. He's insulting the Gorbals, Scotty. Well, that says more about him than it does about you, Creeper. I'll tell you so. Let's all take a chill pill. Quite right too. Otherwise, lifetime ban. Telephones, guys. Telephone. You're looking for Scotty's phone in. Who's that? Ah! Matey!
No.
Now, matey, I'm telling you, you need to behave.
I've been trying to call you for years.
Aha! Now you know how to get me. How did you get this number?
From YouTube, Scotty.
Ah! Yes.
Are we live just now on YouTube?
We're absolutely live on YouTube.
Now, I've got a few things to talk to you about.
Let's hear it. It's about time you phoned, by the way, matey.
Well, I have to say that the most greatest gratification I have is calling you because I get so much energy back from you.
Matey.
I do. I really do. I go back to when I was in my student years at Napier University in Edinburgh.
A young man.
And I always tuned into you. So you are a legacy.
A legacy.
And what you've done with radio and media, and you've absolutely highlighted what media can do for the world, in terms of what you've broadcasted. So I have to commend everything that you have done and that. But
can I tell you, matey, at the moment, I'm in discussions with America about the media. And the media, as you know, in this country is it's fairly dull now, really. It's a jukebox, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You know, and we need to go somewhere. I mean, people have been telling me for years, and you know what I'm like for being a little bit stubborn. And they've said, McClue, you need to go to America where the media is king. Yes, you need to go to where the media is king and do the television and radio.
But Scotty, can I just say something to you? I mean, I've done a few things, and as you know, we did Michelin stars last week.
You're an absolute star, as far as I'm concerned. You've done amazing things.
No, well, I just think that the broadcast, it was okay. It was fine. It was conducted by the local media, but it didn't have anything that would, like, what's the word? That would gain the interest of the general kind of a public.
Yes.
It didn't strike anything that would be, you know, if that makes sense, you know.
Well, you've always been ahead of your time, and you've always been a very switched on person. And I think what you probably realize, and switched on people realize this. They used to say, "Oh, Scottie McClue, what a man he is. I don't think I'd want to have too much to do with him." And you thought, are you mad? Because, as you know, we used to be able to give people a mention.
Well, that's correct.
That was the big thing. We could give people a mention, and it was incredible.
Well, the intro to the Michelin stars was nice, but it wasn't. It wasn't, you know, perfect. It wasn't anything that you could have done something much better, in my humble opinion.
Well, you don't need to have a humble opinion. Your opinion's incredible. You know, and as I say, I am a massive, massive fan of all the wonderful things you've done.
I just believe that I think that everything that has gone. I think that the whole media thing has kind of.
Well, it's just when we need it in Glasgow. This is the time we should be talking. And our present governments are not too keen on what they think is free speech in case people start talking to each other. Now, if you've got confidence, I don't know if you saw J.D. Vance's speech yesterday to Europe, and it was absolutely outstanding. And a lot of the big people in Europe were sitting there like stunned mullets, just couldn't believe that they were hearing this level of fact and truth from the most powerful nation, the second most powerful man in the most powerful nation in the world. And he was just talking straight. And I thought, this man is talking my language. He's talking our language. And he's saying, get out there. Now, if a government wanted to do well, they should have a massive phone in, a massive Scottie McClue phone in, where all the people can phone in and say what they think. But they steer clear of it. They go, oh, don't get the people doing that, you see? Because this country has evolved a culture of why not tell the people the truth? Oh, don't, for goodness sake, tell them that. You see? And we need to get away from that. Well, tell the people.
Oh, Scottie, I have to say to you that going back and listening to you on the radio was absolutely a fantastic joy.
Well, it was really, I was kind of the nation's man pa, if you know what I mean. And you thought, well, you're going to have to tell Scottie, and he'll not be too chuffed with you, but he'll tell you straight.
Well, that's the thing, you know. You never dressed down anything. You just told them what it was. It was absolutely fantastic, and I somehow hope that we should maybe get back to that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just
no, but it's very interesting that they had a huge radio station that everybody was just centering in on and thinking that'll do me. So you had great music, personality presenters, news, sport, talk show, big talk show at night, doing everything just as radio should be. And then suddenly, bang, sold to, I think it was an English company, and virtually neutralized a jukebox, you know, and that was the end of that.
But what we're doing just now, Scottie, can just be replicated definitely digitally on what you do just now.
Well, that's why I've stuck with it. People used to say, you know, why do you do this? Is it your ego? And I said, I don't have an ego. I said, because I am just Mr. Bloke. So I don't have an ego. I've got nothing to prove. We've had the highest figures ever in talk radio, been the most successful ever in British talk radio. And I've got nothing to prove. But I've hung on with it because I know that digitally, as you say, we can replicate. We just need everybody to know it's on, you know, and that was why I launched a little GoFundMe, not because I need anything, but I wanted to get some advertising and see if we can, you know, get things up there. At least if everyone knows it's on, they can decide whether or not they want to watch it.
I completely agree. I 100% completely agree.
But I can guarantee if you said to people, oh, I was talking to Scottie McClue. Scottie McClue, where's he? Haven't heard. I thought he died. Oh, no. Oh, I haven't heard from him for years. How do I get a hold of that?
No, that's correct. I'm sorry. I've been away for a while, and I've not been in contact. But
well, you're wonderful. Have you been okay though?
Been fine. I've been fine. Yeah.
And I saw you doing your old hello control over.
Charlie Harper.
Wonderful stuff. That absolutely. What would I be? I'd be Sierra Mike, wouldn't I?
Well, I would. I've bought a small plane.
Wonderful.
I bought a PA-28.
Wonderful.
And I've been doing some flying just now.
What a great skill.
It's been good, but
and I saw you at the controls and social media. I thought, brilliant. Do you know that a pilot had to retrim his aircraft because I was with him?
Okay, retrimmed the half. Okay,
yes, seriously, we took off, and he turned to me, straight talking. He said, "Ooh, I feel a difference with you." I said, "Do you really?" He went, "Oh yes, I've had to retrim her." And then one said to me once, he said, "Now, if I take a heart attack, you're going to have to land this." And he said, "So take the controls." He said, "Don't worry about the feet." And then he said to me, he said, "Right, keep her nice and straight and level." I said, "Straight and level, sir, yes." And he said, "How do you think?" He said, "Right, I've got her." He said, "How do you think you did?" I said, "I think pretty good. We were certainly straight and level." He said, "You climbed 500 feet.
Well, do you know, Scottie, that the good thing is that you can play the organ, okay? So you know how to play the hands and the feet.
After a fashion, nothing like your good self.
No, because anyone who can play the organ can land a plane no problem, because we've got the controls for the rudders.
Wow.
Okay, you've got the rudders on the feet, and we've got the hand. We've got the stick on the control columns. So yes, so if anything goes wrong, I'm absolutely unequivocally assured that you'll be able to hand that.
Oh, there you are. And rotate. And gear up.
Charlie Golf, Roger.
Oh, lovely stuff. I'm such a fan, you know, it's brilliant.
I will be keep in contact with you.
Do. And we'll get the chat. Lovely to hear you, and hashtag stay fabulous.
Well, listen, it's been absolutely fantastic. I'm sorry I've not been in contact with you. Life has sometimes been difficult, and I know that you are absolutely amazing.
We're solutionists.
The energy you have, you are just an inspirational character and such an amazing person to admire.
Well, I'm always here for you, sir. And as I say, you and I are solutionists.
Well, it's been fantastic to talk to you. It really has been. We've had our ups and downs.
Oh, have we not just? And Kiri Elezion, I say.
Well, Kiri Elezion, and I've always obviously I've always asked you for advice, and I've always come to you as Padre, and you've always been wonderful.
The advice is free and freely given.
And you've been amazing, and I always remember you playing Dying Be the Glory. We've done our battles through.
We duetted.
we
duetted.
I remember that fondly.
Are you on the TikTok?
I'm not on TikTok,
right.
I'm too old. I'm 50, Scottie.
Oh, for goodness sake, a boy. A mere boy.
I might join Scott. I might join TikTok, Scottie, and I'll try and get into the contemporary world someday.
Yes, we'll get you into the 21st century. And DINKY-DOO, sir.
Okay, good night, Scottie.
God bless you. God bless you. What a fine man. Love you lots. What a great guy. So there we are. Wonderful man. Now, that man is an organist par excellence, I could tell you, and a great flying man. What about that? Now, we'll do without that. Here we go. Now, let's just see what's going on here. The black dog in the photo of Scottie getting his degree looks like a nice puppy. He was, Lord Reith, I tell you. Coming from America, it's wild here, says Tracy. So there you go. What have we got here now? Did you watch J.D. Vance in Germany? I did, Jack. And I thought the man was outstanding. Couldn't fault him. I tell you. And just finished my third bottle of beer. Here's to 10 more. No, Ben, soldier, not too many. On parade in the morning. Well done, Scottie. Dinky-Doo, Jack. We need a bit of Trump in Scotland. Oh, we need a lot of Trump in Scotland, I tell you. Now, what's Creeper saying? I believe in equal rights for everyone, right? We don't need more fascism in Scotland, Jack. Well, there's certainly no fascism there, I can tell you. So there we go. Captain Gamez, Jack, you don't belong in these streams. You aren't one of the OGS. Leave. Kyle says, Scottie, I don't think Scotland would survive without England. Are you crazy? Kyle, England would never survive without Scotland. Well, it would. It would after a fashion, because England benefits from 2/3 of Scotland's money. Do you see what I mean? So there you are. The greatest country in the world is actually Scotland. And the inventions that we have, I mean, I saw Concorde the other day, and I was talking to a gentleman and I said, designed by a Scot, and he gave me the name of the designer, Richard Tanner. You are being so generous to me. Thank you very, very, very much. I tell you. Gal, get into your head. Scotland the Great. Now, what have we got here? I'm flying through these. Ben Soldier Boy. Enough beer. No more beer, I say. Guys, can you believe we've been up for 37 minutes? What an interesting guy there, I can tell you. Now, what else have we got? Come and join us. Put your comments on, and let's hear from you. Now, what have we got here? Dinky-Doo from Edinburgh. Dinky-Doo, Edinburgh. We love having you with us. Thoughts on Cumbernauld? What's it called? Cumbernauld, I tell you. Get sharing, guys. Robert, thank you for sharing. That's very much appreciated. Scottie, I can grab you one too. No, Ben, I don't do the sauce now, but what I will have, guys, if you've got a drink, General Sup, okay? I've got Scottish water. That is absolutely lush, I tell you. Join up with the BRICS, says John Doe. Well, I don't think we need to join. I think we could join up with the Americans. There we are, because they are on the ball these days. I mean, we've had 4 years of nightmare with old sleepy Uncle Joe. But the Don is back in business. Do you like vegan food? Angela, I don't know how much vegan food I've ever had. There's usually quite a lot of animal protein in what I'm eating. Rangers or Celtic, says Excelsior. I would say, Excelsior, the best thing you could do is go and see both teams play and then make a decision. Just make a decision. People move about. There's no reason for one or the other. They're both very good teams. And, make a decision. Celtic like to pretend that they've got a connection with Ireland. Apart from being found by an Irish priest, they don't. So they've been a Scottish team for 150 years. But they like to go, old Ireland, oh, old Ireland. A lot of nonsense. So there you go, I tell you. It's the Scots that have looked after the Celts, and they're exactly the same background and exactly the same religion as the Rangers players. So there you go. So there's no difference in that, I can tell you. There might be a different denomination, But even that, I don't know. Would you vote reform, Scotty? Well, as I say, I don't really. Thoughts on signing for Dundee? We don't really discuss football. Are you Welsh? Well, I suppose, James, all of us are Welsh to a greater or lesser extent. Not seen you in a while, says Gypsy Jack. Where have you been hiding, Gypsy Jack? Evening, Scotty. Have you ever seen an old movie called The Bruce? I've heard of it. I don't recall seeing it, but I'll tell you what I did see. How green was my valley. And I've put it up on the Scottie McClue YouTube channel. Now, the Scottie McClue YouTube channel, I've just done a little short video, which you'll see at the start. You can get the link on TikTok's bio, or you'll be watching the YouTube channel yourself, probably right now. And it does movies and it does live stream when we discuss all sorts of things. All right, so we've got that. Lovely day for, and he advertises a famous company for light refreshment. I tell you, the Glasgow Creeper. Do you remember an advert that said GIGFY? Do you remember that one? I tell you. Hello, says PC Plum. Hello, PC Plum. We used to love you. What's the story? I tell you. What do we got? Got the boys on here with the chat. Trump is revolutionary, says Jack. The man is remarkable. I mean, he's what, 77 years of age, is he? Or is he older than that? And he is just absolutely remarkable. Partly up at 6 o'clock sharp, and then he starts business right away. Amazing, wonderful stuff. Hi, Scotty, it's Jenny, #1 van driver, Scotland and the West. How are you tonight? Just about to get my cheese toast. Now, is it cheese toast? Is it cheese on toast? Is it toasted cheese? We need to discuss that. Guys, I'd like to put that out as a mainstream subject for tonight. Do we have cheese on toast, or toasted cheese, or cheese toast, or Welsh rarebit? You know, come on now. Glasgow Creeper, the Gorbals Jack. There we have Gorbals Jack, I tell you. Do you remember Gorbals Mick? Does anyone remember who Gorbals Mick was? Cheese Toasty. I have cheese everywhere, says Ben Soldier Boy. Excellent. Roasted cheese. Murray O'Donnell, we forgot the roasted cheese. How good is that? I tell you. Do you remember the Gorbals vampire, Scotty? I do remember something about that story. Yes, indeed. I tell you. Murray, what's up, says Ben? So they're roasted cheese. Say cheese, Scotty. Yeah, why does everybody go cheese when they're getting the photo taken? But nobody says, what would you like on your toast? Oh, I'll have cheese. That sort of idea. Scotty, you need to ban the Glasgow Creeper. So there you go. Hee-haw, Ben, says Murray. Good for you, Murray. Are you teaching them donkey pronouns there? What are your pronouns? Hee-haw. I don't buy it, Scotty. I've been in the necropolis many a time and saw nothing. Which, that would be the Eastern necropolis, is it? I tell you. People can have opinions. Yes, everybody can have opinions, guys. Don't start cheeking up to each other or I'll just ban you. You know, if you start abusing each other on here, it's a ban job, a lifetime ban. Jerry will back me in that. Isn't that right, Jerry? We've banned a few people for cheeking up on here. Has everybody subscribed on the YouTube and followed on the TikTok? That's so important. Très important, as we say en français. Freedom to Scotland. Scotland should have its freedom, but they won't let it go because of the money. We like that. I've seen no abuse, says Captain Gammas. Good. If you had a chance to check out the new Walk Bridge, says Flighting Fish 990, from Govan to Partick yet, Scotty, What a difference has it made? When did it open? Flighting Fish, was that the one? Oh yes, I remember when it opened. Are we talking about 3 months now, maybe something like that? Yes, it'd be nice to enjoy the show with not a lifetime ban. Absolutely, Jerry, we shouldn't. Be kind, people. Good one, Susan. Hashtag be kind. Hashtag stay fabulous. That's what it's all about. Flighting Fish last year. It was last year, but about 3 or 4 months now. Well, mind you, the time flies. We're in February. Scotty, play us a wee tune in the box. Well, we need to see if the people want it. So there you go. Scotty, when are you going to become a Fortnite character? Could you play Fortnite once a week? I tell you, I am out, says Jack. Jack, you don't need to be out, la. Anyhow, Scotty, what do you get from Greg's? Well, you'll get some very tasty snacks. I don't know because obviously I'm in a very strict diet, so I don't sort of pop into the pie shops all the time. Not all the time. Yes, Professor Numptyhead, you are late. Late, 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 late. But you're here now. Have you ever been in the Crinan Canal at Drishig, Scotty? I was brought up beside the Crinan Canal. My grandfather worked on it from probably about 1898, I think, to 1948. So he was 50 years on the Crinan Canal. I do like a good Greg, so we all do. Let's all chill now, peeps, says Captain Gamez. So there you are. Good one. There we are. He and the Glasgow Creeper are now in agreement because they did not want a lifetime ban. Now then, hello, good evening. Lovely to have you with us. DINKY-DOO from South Africa. Dylan in South Africa. Are you having a braai? What time is it in South Africa? I see Iron Duke. So there you are, following the Ruskies in the channel. Remember your interview with June. Brilliant, Scotty. Thank you, Command. I tell you. Who else have we got here? Guys, you shouldn't be mentioning the shops. Not long till the marching season now, Scotty. Well, I think a few people are getting their marching orders, certainly in America. I absolutely love Empire biscuits. They're actually made by God himself. Now, does God make the whole biscuit, or does he put the jelly tot in the middle? That used to be a piece of glazed cherry. So there you are. Very interesting. The marching season, yes, indeed. What are we marching for? Tum. I've enjoyed many a good pint in the Cairnban, Scotty. Oh, Murray. I have myself. When I took a refreshment, I had a lot of them in the Cairnban. And I used to actually stay at the Cairnban when I was touring Argyll. Scotty, since you keep ignoring my messages, says Liebschen, concerning Musk, I assume this is a touchy subject. Liebschen, there's nothing touchy about Musk. Fantastic guy, and everybody's for him. He's doing a great job. There we go. And I can't understand why everyone on the planet is not pro-Trump, pro-Musk, pro-JD Vance. Do you know what I mean? If I'd been a Democrat, I'd just have chucked it by now. I said, well, it was good to fight, but there's nothing to fight for now because we've got the president that the world will benefit, America will benefit from having. Donald Trump's got the right way to run his country. I wish we had him here. Jerry, 100%. Thick sliced wholemeal outsiders. John Doe, I believe wholemeal bread is actually harder to digest than white bread. And I know it's, brown bread is full of what's in it, vitamin B. There we go. Some comments, I love this. Some comments in this live were filtered to protect the community. Isn't that beautiful? Glasgow Creeper, not a big fan of Trump and Musk. Why not, Glasgow Creeper? Any reason? I think if anybody's not a fan of Trump or Musk, they need to have a reason. And jealousy is not a reason. Okay? Now, there we go. Is everyone pro-right wing? It's nothing to do with being right wing, Liebchen. It's to do with having the right person for the job. Do you know what I mean? I mean, we know that the left wing doesn't work. We saw that in communist Russia in 1917 onwards, and that was a fail. So there's no point in being a lefty and even a righty. I think we should all be middle people now. You need your fiber. Oh, yes, but I mean, there'll be a bit of fiber. You can't be a malt loaf with butter. Professor Numpty Heat, what about a bit of gingerbread with butter? What about a banana cake? I tell you, we were younger, we used to get a French loaf, pull the inside of it out, and half fill it with crisps. A crisp baguette. Very good. But I like banana bread, says Glasgow Creeper. Absolutely. So there we are. So Liebchen, you know, it's nothing to do with right or left. It's just common sense. All this swithering between right and left, that's great. That plays into the hands of people who don't do anything. You know, I think you'll see that Donald is actually doing something. I tell you. Oh! You're live in Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Oh, Scotty, I've got a quick question for you.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll put a scenario here. You went off to Greg's, all right? You're going to order one thing. What would you order?
A steak bake.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye. So there you are. That's it. Right. We did it. We took the call. Now then, what have I got here? Hang on a second. I can't see for that. There's that much light in here. And that's just coming from you guys. Wonderful. Right. There we go. I tell you. I love a steak bake. Pea and ham soup without the chicken, Scotty. Aye, from a chicken. That was the wonderful Phil McCall. Common sense, that's what we're all about. Absolutely, Liebchen. And that's what you're seeing from Trump. Right and left doesn't cut it anymore, right? It's allowing all the elites to grab all the money and take it away to their hidey holes and not give any to the people. That's what's caused the problem, right? And if you watch now, you just watch that unfold. Scotty and all Mr. and Mrs. Tuxra here on the road this weekend. On the road again. We love it, Tuxra and greetings from Crinan. Tuxra, we've just been talking about Artrishig and Cairnban. Where is David, says Captain Gamis. I know. We hope David's all right because he wasn't keeping well, but also we hope he's not in a wee cream puff. You know, that's what we didn't want to happen. Where is he? I say. Now then, there's King, a great fan of Pete Price is. All right, Scotty. Dinky-Doo, I say. Scotty's not reading our messages. Yes, I am. Sing the Scottish national anthem. Okay, just once. Right, you ready? This is the Scottish national anthem. This should be played at all sporting fixtures. And if you want, you can follow it with the wee folk song that we like to sing as well. You ready? God save our gracious King. Long live our noble King. God save the King. Send him victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the King. 3 cheers for His Majesty the King. Hip hip, hooray! Hip hip, hooray! Hip hip, hooray! We should have removed headdress. There you are. So that's it. That's your Scottish national anthem. And then we like to follow it with Our Flower of Scotland. But that should be sung quietly. It shouldn't be bawled out by a bunch of idiots. Our Flower of Scotland. It doesn't go like that. That's not what the composer had in mind. Okay, Roy Williamson, lovely man. My gran used to make a belter of lentil soup. Oh, Glasgow Creeper, I had it the other day. Whistling, says David. Good man, David. We like that. That's fantastic. Now, what have we got here? I tell you. So there we go. Thoughts on the mince and tatties? Just tuned in, brother. Yeah, absolutely. Left-wing patter. Lots of left-wing patter on here. Yes. Long live Trump. I tell you. Were you in still game? Are you a reform voter? Look at this. Is amazing, guys. I've just followed you. Thank you much. And there's William saying hi. Hi, William. And lovely to have you with us. I love lasagna, Scotty. Is that not an old Scottish song? I love lasagna, bonny, bonny lasagna. There we are. Scots Swahili would be better at the rugby. Yes, so maybe we have God Save the King, Murray, and then Scots Swahili, we Wallace blood, and change that, interchange with Flower Scotland as the Scottish folk song. Peter says, Bonnie wee Jeannie McCall. I find we lass, a bonny wee lass, says Bonnie wee Jeannie McCall. I gave her my mother's engagement ring and a bonny wee tartan shawl. I tell you now, what have we got? Yes, good idea. Jack says, Captain, I like this man. Change of subject. How much a fish supper costs across the nation? Here in Coylton, outside here, it costs £14.20 for a fish supper. Much it wins you are. Well, I'm rarely over £8.50, and I have had as low as £6, but not for 2 pieces. I don't like hate speech. No, you're quite right, Jack. None of us do. None of us like hate speech. So there you go. Extend the show by half an hour tonight, Scotty. You think so, Murray? Would that suit? No, we have to sadly go because otherwise we can't download more than an hour on the TikTok, as far as I know. I don't like people who hate on New York City, the best city in the world. Well, Captain Gammis, nobody could ever possibly hate on New York City. NYC. £12 in Clarkson. Oh, my goodness me. £8 till £11. Is that for 2 pieces, Jerry? Did you always get 2 pieces? I just remember a 1 piece, 1 fish. And now people say, yep, 1 or 2. Or my local chippy just automatically gives you 2. I think that's about £9. Mr. J says, you know, I don't like traitors to my homeland. Well, Mr. J, you know, I mean, the traitors seems to be doing very well on the telly. Liebschen says, I hate New York. Why would you hate New York? £9.50 for a 2 fillet supper. Well, I was in the chippy the other night, and a chap comes in and he shouts, fish and chips twice. And the guy said, it's all right, I heard you the first time. £15.50 for a fish supper in Edinburgh. £15.50. It must be the price of the fish, surely. What's that got to do with the price of fish? Glasgow would be nothing without the people. Well, nowhere would be anywhere without the people. I can't tell you. Night, Scotty. Night, Jerry. Night, everybody. Take great care of your dear selves. Hashtag stay fabulous. Hashtag I love you. Scotty, have you seen Frankie and Josie live? I was at their final performance. You'll see me on the video. Say goodnight, everybody. Dinky-Doo. Ta-da, lads. That's it, guys. We're out of time. We have to go. Doesn't mean I don't love you. Stick out your tongue and say ta-ta. Night, Murray. Stay fabulous. Pa-pa. And again. Pa-pa.